What's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of Average Aaron's Auto Videos. And today we're on a 2012 Prius, and I'm betting you can guess there are some components missing. Like everything right there, missing the intake. But what we're going to focus on is the EGR assembly. Where is it, you ask? Well, I've pulled it, and it's currently back here ready for cleaning. All right, so I'm going to do a reverse video of how to put this back in instead of showing you how I took it out, because there's some components in there that won't make sense as easily as if I show them to you. One of which is this piece right here where the nut goes on the bolt that sticks out underneath, and you simply can't see that until you, because it's just underneath there, and it's just the worst thing in the world to get out. I'm sorry, actually that's on this side right here. You cannot see this from the top because this is what you see, and you don't see the bolt going in here, and you don't see the nut on the other side. Super annoying to get out. Anyway, super duty. So we have the EGR assembly. I think it's called the EGR cooler, EGR valve. You got this little oboe piece. So I'm going to take those apart. I got one here to remove and one on the other side. And then once I get those to remove this elbow, I'll have a little 10mm right there and a 10mm right there. I'll be right back. All right, it's apart. So you got two little gaskets, one that goes to the cooler. The way I did it was up to the cooler first, and then up to elbow. And then I put the bolts on the side and the nuts on the side. They go kind of up. That's how I remember to do it. And when I take it off, I don't know if it's necessary, but whatever. All right, so this is the EGR valve. And it's super yucky and grimy and dirty. You can see that funk in there. And that's just rust around the edge, but it's pretty funky. And then this side though, look at that. That's gross. So I'm gonna clean that. Our elbow, I haven't even looked at this guy. Yeah, that's a lot of gross too. Yeah, so it's not clogged, which is great, but it's definitely constricted, and it probably doesn't flow as well as it should. And then the cooler. Oh yeah, and I don't even need to zoom in on that. You can see how awesome that is. So inside here, it's like essentially a radiator for exhaust gases. So that's what it looks like now. So I'm gonna spray some brake cleaner on, I'm gonna spray it in from this side and the other side. I haven't even looked at the other side yet. What does this look like? Oh, by the way, when you take this off, there's a gasket here too against the car. If you drop this, you'll have to take off your underbody paneling to get that. So make sure you don't drop it like I did. Yeah, that's pretty full too. You can see not shiny, a lot of constriction in there. So I'm going to clean this out, and I'll show you guys what it looks like afterwards and talk about some of the importance as to why you want to do that. I will also mention that I'm using some brake parts cleaner stuff here, and I'm wearing safety goggles and some rubber gloves because this is highly corrosive and you don't want to get any of that in your eyeballs or on your skin as much as you can help it. Just a quick midway cleaning check here. All those little specks came out of here when I sprayed from the other end, because as you can see, they're still on the end here and coming out, so it's working. All right, so here's this finished. Yeah, it looks a lot better in there. And I just used a tiny screwdriver, a little pick, and I was gentle, I wasn't scraping hard, but then this pile right here is all from that area. That's not even counting some of it already went in the container in there, which is super gross. But this pile is strictly from this area right here, which makes it pretty epic. This one right here, let me turn so we're not upside down, but you can still see in there a little bit, I think. There we go. So that one looks a lot better in there. And then after you spray and stuff inside there and then clean, because the sensor's on this side, on the left here, I'm gonna just tilt it down to dry, kind of like this. Ta-da. Here's the elbow, which that looks great in there. And then make sure you just clean off the flat surface right here as well, because that way you have the least amount of material in between there, so that gasket has a nice tight fitting on both sides. And here you can see on that side, I did use a little bit of a wire brush, which I know can take away some metal, but I didn't do it hard, and I did it barely at all. The rest was just spinning a towel like that through it and spraying every once in a while and just giving the spray a chance to work and sit. Because if you give it a second after spraying, let it sit there for a minute, it'll break that apart fairly quickly. And then last here, we saw all that rusty metal. Now we can see some semi-shiny. Now I'm going to keep spraying a little bit more in here. And as you can see, all of it kind of came out, but there's some shiny metal in there that wasn't there before. On the other side, it's still grimy. I also ran out and I'm still going. So like this one takes a minute, and that's okay. Flip it over here. Doop. Yeah. So I'm gonna get some paper towel and stuff in there. It's still pretty dark, and clean that some more. All right, so I've relocated back to the front of the car, moved the stuff up here because I'm done cleaning. Now, those aren't shiny and silver, but they're definitely not nearly as clogged as they once were. You can see on that end. And if I can flip this around, that end actually is silver and shiny, which is kind of nice. Yeah, not too bad looking in there, considering what it once was. So, yeah, I'm going to get a paper towel and just wipe that piece out. So I'm going to stop this and just do 2 videos, and the install will be the next one because I want this to dry out. Anything that's in there, I just want it to kind of evaporate. And then also, these fittings, hoses go on here. They're rubber hoses, and if you use brake cleaner, carb cleaner, whatever caustic spray you use, it is caustic and is highly corrosive. And so to keep the integrity of the rubber hoses, I would recommend wiping these off really well, just cleaning them. So when you attach the hoses again, you've got a nice clean fitting and none of that residual spray left on there that's kind of caustic and might deteriorate some of the interior of those hoses that are connected to this. So I'll put these pieces back together tomorrow, show you how I do that, but I just want to show you the benefits and what you can do. It doesn't cost you anything to pull it off except for time to do all this, but again, I'll do a video putting everything back together. Hope this was helpful. Hope this explains things a little bit. You've got the EGR cooler, the elbow, I actually don't know what this piece is called, and then you've got the valve itself. And you got the 2 gaskets that I had here, and then this gasket actually goes on the back of the cooler where it connects to the part that goes to the exhaust manifold, I believe it's called. All these I've wiped down, cleaned, so they're ready to be put back on, and we will do that tomorrow. Hope this video was helpful, explaining some of the parts and components of the EGR assembly. And if you like this video, please hit subscribe and hit that like button down below, and we'll see you guys next time.